When it comes to our elderly loved ones, noticing changes in their health isn't just about casual observation. It could be life-saving. I'm Dr. Sarah from the 100-Year Lifestyle, and today we're discussing a sensitive but crucial topic, the subtle signs that might indicate an elderly person is entering their final year of life. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't about predicting death or causing unnecessary alarm. It's about recognition and action. Many of these signs, when caught early, can lead to interventions that extend both lifespan and quality of life. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to caring for our senior loved ones. In my 25 years working with seniors, I've noticed certain patterns that often precede significant health declines. Today, I'm sharing the 5 most critical warning signs based on medical research and my clinical experience. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch for, and more importantly, what you can do about each sign. Before we dive in, I want to acknowledge something important. Discussing end-of life signs can feel uncomfortable. We live in a society that often avoids conversations about mortality, but I've found that approaching these topics with compassion and practical knowledge actually reduces anxiety rather than increasing it. When we understand what's happening, we can make informed choices that honor our loved ones' dignity and wishes. I also want to emphasize that these signs aren't guarantees. I've seen remarkable recoveries in seniors who displayed multiple warning signs once they received proper intervention. The human spirit has an incredible capacity for resilience, and the aging body can sometimes surprise even experienced medical professionals, like myself, with its ability to bounce back. That said, recognizing these patterns early gives us the best chance to make a positive difference, whether that means extending life by years or ensuring final months are lived with comfort and meaning. Both outcomes are valuable victories. Let's begin with perhaps the most telling indicator of all: sin. #1. Significant, unintentional weight loss. Martha, an 83-year-old grandmother of 5, had always loved her Sunday family dinners. Her homemade apple pie was legendary in the family. But over 3 months, her daughter noticed something concerning. Martha's clothes were hanging loosely. Her face looked gaunt, and she barely touched her own pie during their gatherings. This unintentional weight loss, about 10% of her body weight in just months, wasn't due to dieting. It was her body sending a critical message. According to a landmark study published in the Journal of Geriatric, unplanned weight loss of 5% or more within 6 months is associated with a 67% higher mortality risk in the elderly. When this weight loss reaches 10%, that risk more than doubles. Why does this happen? Several mechanisms are at work. First, the body's metabolism changes in the final stages of life. Even with normal food intake, the body processes nutrients differently. The basal metabolic rate, how much energy we burn at rest, begins to shift. Absorption of key nutrients, particularly proteins and fats, becomes less efficient. This metabolic shift isn't just age-related decline. It's often your loved one's body redirecting energy to essential survival functions. Second, there's often an underlying condition causing this weight loss. Cancer, advanced heart failure, or kidney disease are common culprits. Sometimes these conditions haven't yet manifested with other obvious symptoms. The weight loss becomes the first detectable warning sign, sometimes appearing 6 to 9 months before other symptoms become apparent. This is particularly true with certain digestive cancers, where appetite changes and malabsorption begin long before pain or other symptoms emerge. Third, and perhaps most concerning, is what doctors call anorexia of aging, a natural decrease in appetite that occurs as part of the body's final transition. This isn't psychological anorexia, but rather a complex physiological process involving changes in hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin. The brain's appetite center, the hypothalamus, becomes less responsive to these signals. Additionally, taste and smell perception often diminish, making food less appealing. Fourth, medication side effects frequently play a role. The average 80-year-old takes 7 different prescription medications. Many commonly prescribed drugs from antibiotics. 2 heart medications list decreased appetite as a side effect. When multiple medications are combined, these effects can compound dramatically. But here's the critical point. Unlike some signs we'll discuss later, significant weight loss is often addressable if caught early. When Martha's daughter noticed this change, she scheduled a comprehensive medical evaluation. They discovered an easily treatable thyroid condition plus minor depression affecting Martha's appetite. With proper medication and having her grandson visit for lunch 3 times weekly, Martha regained her weight and energy and is still making her famous apple pie 2 years later. What makes this outcome possible? Early intervention, when weight loss is addressed before it exceeds 10% of body mass. The success rate for intervention is approximately 3 times higher. Once weight loss exceeds 15 to 20%, recovery becomes significantly more challenging as the body enters a catabolic state, essentially consuming its own tissues for energy. It's also worth noting that weight loss patterns differ between men and women. Men typically lose weight more linearly, steady decreases week after week. Women often show a stepped pattern, periods of stability, followed by sudden drops. Both patterns deserve attention, but the stepped pattern in women is particularly concerning as it often indicates underlying disease processes rather than simple appetite changes. What to do if you notice this sign? Document the weight loss. Keep a simple journal noting approximate weight and eating habits. Record not just how much they eat, but what types of foods they avoid or prefer. Protein avoidance in particular can signal specific health issues. Schedule a thorough medical examination, request comprehensive blood work, including complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, thyroid function tests, and inflammatory markers. Ask specifically about testing for occult malignancies if no obvious cause is found. Consider a nutrition consultation. Sometimes simple dietary adjustments make profound differences. High-calorie, nutrient-dense foods in smaller portions can be more effective than 3 large meals. Nutritional supplements like medical grade meal replacements can provide concentrated nutrition when appetite is poor. Make mealtime social again. Shared meals increase intake by up to 30% in seniors. The social aspect of eating triggers ancient brain pathways that enhance appetite. Even having a caregiver sit and converse during meals, not just serve and leave, can significantly increase consumption. Assess the eating environment. Temperature. Good lighting. Aging eyes need more light to see food attractively. Reduce background noise, reducing appeal. Let's move on to our second sign, one that many caregivers notice but frequently dismiss. Sign number 2. The withdrawal pattern. Robert had always been the center of his retirement community, organizing card games, leading the resident council, and never missing his grandchildren's weekend visits. His son Mark noticed something strange during their weekly calls. Robert gradually stopped mentioning friends, declined family gathering invitations, and seemed indifferent about activities he once loved. "I'm just tired these days," Robert would say. "I'll get back to it soon." But soon never came. This withdrawal pattern, this gradual disconnection from previously enjoyed activities and relationships, wasn't simple fatigue. It was what geriatric specialists call social disengagement. And research from the University of California shows it often precedes end of life by 8 to 14 months in otherwise stable seniors. This withdrawal typically manifests in 3 stages. First comes activity reduction, dropping long-held hobbies and social commitments. Next is relationship narrowing, maintaining only the closest connections while letting peripheral relationships fade. Finally, emotional detachment develops, less investment in future plans and diminished emotional responses to previously meaningful events. The science behind this is fascinating. This withdrawal isn't simply depression, though that may play a role. Studies from the National Institute on Aging suggest it may be partly biological, the body conserving emotional and physical energy as systems begin to decline. However, this is crucial. Early intervention can often reverse this trajectory. When Mark noticed his father's withdrawal, he consulted a geriatric psychologist. They discovered Robert had untreated hearing loss that was making social interactions frustrating and exhausting. With properly fitted hearing aids and gradual reintroduction to social activities, Robert reconnected with his community and regained his zest for life. What to do if you notice this sign? Rule out sensory issues, hearing or vision problems often. Cause withdrawal simply because interaction becomes difficult. Screen for depression. Standardized tools like the Geriatric Depression Scale can help identify treatable depression. Create low pressure. Opportunities for engagements. Start small and build gradually. Consider. Professional support. Geriatric social workers and psychologists specialize in re-engagement strategies. Now, let's discuss our third sign, one that's easily observable but often misunderstood. Sign number 3. The sleep-wake reversal. Eleanor, a typically punctual and organized 87-year-old, began sleeping through her morning appointments and staying awake watching television until 3 or 4 a.m. Her daughter initially assumed this was normal aging, or perhaps retirement freedom after all. Eleanor had worked early mornings as a teacher for 40 years, but this dramatic shift in sleep patterns, what doctors call sleep-wake cycle reversal, often signals something more significant. A major study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that disruption of circadian rhythms in the elderly frequently precedes mortality by 4 to 7 months. This finding shouldn't be surprising when we consider how fundamental sleep rhythms are to our biology. Our bodies evolved over millions of years to align with the Earth's day-night cycle. When this primal rhythm begins to falter in seniors, it often indicates fundamental biological systems are beginning to fail. This disruption typically follows a predictable progression. It begins with difficulty falling asleep at night and increased daytime napping. You might notice your loved one nodding off during afternoon activities or complaining about lying awake at 2 a.m. This stage often lasts 2 to 3 months and is frequently dismissed as normal aging. It progresses to complete reversal, being fully awake at night and sleeping substantial portions of the day. Night becomes day and day becomes night. Family members often notice this when late-night phone calls occur. "I thought you might be up." When they find evidence of nighttime activities, dishes in the sink, television left on, or lights that have been on all night. Finally, it evolves into a regular sleep with no discernible patterns, sleeping and waking multiple times throughout the 24-hour cycle. At this advanced stage, the body has lost its ability to maintain consolidated sleep periods. Your loved one might sleep for 2 hours, be awake for 3, sleep again for 4, with no correlation to daylight or darkness. Decline as the restorative benefits of deep sleep are lost. What's happening physiologically? The suprachiasmatic nucleus, our brain's primary timekeeper located in the hypothalamus, begins to deteriorate. This tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons regulates countless biological processes. When it falters, the effects cascade throughout the body. Melatonin production becomes erratic. This crucial sleep hormone normally rises as darkness falls and drops with morning light. In terminal decline, melatonin may be produced at inappropriate times or not at all. Cortisol rhythms, which should peak in early morning, become similarly disrupted. The autonomic nervous system, which controls unconscious functions like heart rate, digestion, and breathing, depends on these circadian cues to balance its sympathetic fight or flight and parasympathetic rest and digest components. When this balance is lost, every system in the body is affected. And importantly, this disruption isn't just a symptom, it's a contributor to decline, creating a dangerous feedback loop. Poor sleep reduces immune function by up to 70%, accelerates cognitive decline, and increases inflammation throughout the body. Recent research from Stanford University Sleep Center has found that this sleep-wake reversal often correlates with reduced blood flow to specific regions of the brainstem that regulate basic life-sustaining functions. In essence, sleep disruption may be both symptom and cause of broader system failure. When Eleanor's daughter recognized this wasn't normal aging, but a potential warning sign, she consulted a sleep specialist. They discovered Eleanor had developed sleep apnea, a treatable condition affecting oxygen levels during sleep. Its appropriate treatment, including a CPAP machine and improved sleep hygiene. Nora's normal sleep patterns returned within weeks. Her energy, cognitive function, and quality of life improved dramatically. Eleanor's case illustrates an essential point. While sleep-wake reversal can signal end-of-life transitions, it's also one of the most treatable warning signs when the underlying cause is identified. In approximately 40% of cases, specific medical conditions, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, medication side effects, or PNA are responsible rather than inevitable decline. What to do if you notice this sign? Maintain a sleep diary. Track sleep and wake times for at least 2 weeks to identify patterns. Note, not just when they sleep, but the quality of that sleep. Restless sleep with frequent position changes differs significantly from peaceful, deep sleep. Use a simple notebook or one of several free apps designed for sleep tracking. Request A. Sleep evaluation. Simple home testing can identify conditions like sleep apnea. These tests measure oxygen levels, breathing patterns, and movement during sleep. Many insurance plans now cover home sleep studies. Eliminating the need for uncomfortable nights in a sleep lab. Implement circadian rhythm support. Morning sunlight exposure for at least 20 minutes helps reset the biological clock. Regular meal timing provides additional time cues to the body. Evening light reduction, particularly blue light from screens, allows natural melatonin production. Consider circadian lighting systems that automatically shift color temperature throughout the day to support natural rhythms. Review medications. Many common prescriptions can disrupt sleep architecture. Diuretics taken late in the day cause nighttime bathroom trips. Some blood pressure medications affect dream sleep. Certain antidepressants can suppress REM sleep. Work with a pharmacist or physician to optimize medication timing and combinations. Create sleep-supportive environments. Temperature plays a crucial role in sleep quality. The aging body is more sensitive to temperature disruptions. The ideal sleeping temperature for seniors is typically between a -70 degrees Fahrenheit, P-21 degrees Celsius, slightly cooler than for younger adults. Let's continue to our fourth sign, one that requires careful observation but can provide early warning of serious decline. Sign number 4. The cognitive fluctuation pattern. Thomas, at 92, prided himself on his sharp mind. He completed the daily crossword, managed his own finances, and kept up with current events. His son began noticing something concerning. Some days Thomas was his usual sharp self, but increasingly, had foggy days where he struggled with basic tasks and seemed confused about time and place. This pattern of cognitive fluctuations, significant day-to-day or even hour-to-hour, changes in mental clarity and function is particularly significant. Research from Johns Hopkins University indicates that when these fluctuations develop newly in someone over 80, there's a correlation with mortality within 12 to 18 months. If the underlying cause isn't addressed, this pattern typically involves good days where cognition appears normal or near normal, bad days with confusion, disorientation, or inability to manage routine tasks. A. Gradual increase in the frequency of bad days over time. The fluctuation itself is the key warning sign. It's different from the steady decline seen in typical dementia progression. These fluctuations often signal serious underlying issues: silent strokes, medication interactions, metabolic problems, or infections that the aging body struggles to clear. Thomas's son wisely sought comprehensive medical evaluation. Testing revealed Thomas was experiencing transient ischemic attacks, mini strokes, that temporarily disrupted brain function. With appropriate blood thinners and blood pressure management, these episodes stopped. 2 years later, Thomas still enjoys his crosswords and independence. What to do if you notice this sign? Document the fluctuations. Note specific date, time, and circumstances of confusion episodes. Seek prompt medical evaluation. Emphasize the fluctuating nature when speaking with healthcare providers. Request neurological assessment. Cognitive testing can establish baselines and identify specific deficits. Review the medication list. Many common drug combinations can cause cognitive fluctuations. Now to our fifth and final sign, perhaps the most subtle, but also one of the most reliable indicators. Sign number 5. The intuitive awareness pattern. Helen, at 91, had been widowed for 2 decades and maintained remarkable independence. She lived alone, drove locally, and volunteered weekly at her church. Without any obvious decline in health, Helen suddenly began organizing her personal affairs, giving cherished items to specific family members, updating her will, and sharing stories and life wisdom with unusual urgency. "I need to make sure everything is in order," she told her puzzled daughter. 3 months later, Ewan suffered a major stroke and passed away within weeks. This phenomenon, what geriatricians sometimes call terminal lucidity, or anticipatory awareness, is well documented, but poorly understood. A fascinating study in Omega, Journal of Death and Dying, found that approximately 70% of elderly individuals demonstrate some behavioral evidence of knowing they are in their final stage of life, often before showing clinical signs of decline. This awareness typically manifests as sudden interest in putting affairs in order without obvious prompting, increased reflection on life and legacy, distribution of personal possessions with specific intent, statements about limited time remaining, often made casually or matter-of-factly. The science behind this awareness remains speculative. Some researchers theorize about subtle physiological changes that may be subconsciously detected by the individual before they're clinically apparent. Others suggest psychological mechanisms related to lifetime experience and pattern recognition. Regardless of the mechanism, this awareness deserves respect and attention. When Helen's daughter recognized this pattern, she did something invaluable. She listened. She didn't dismiss her mother's actions as morbid or unnecessary. She supported Helen's need to create closure and used the opportunity to have meaningful conversations they both later treasured. What to do if you notice this sign? Listen without dismissing. Avoid phrases like "you're fine" or "don't talk like that." Support their organizational efforts. These activities provide important psychological closure. Use the opportunity for meaningful conversation. Ask questions about life lessons and memories. Consider a medical evaluation. While honoring their intuition, still explore whether treatable conditions are present. We've covered 5 critical signs that may indicate an elderly person is entering their final year. Significant unintentional weight loss, the withdrawal pattern, sleep-wake, reversal, cognitive fluctuations, and intuitive awareness behaviors. Remember, these signs aren't guarantees or predictions. They're invitations to pay closer attention and take appropriate action. In my decades working with seniors, I've seen countless examples where recognition of these signs led to interventions that not only extended life but enhanced its quality. I want to share a story that illustrates why this knowledge matters so much. James was 94 when his granddaughter noticed 3 of these warning signs developing over just a few months: weight loss, sleep reversal, and cognitive fluctuations. Instead of assuming this was simply his time, she advocated for thorough medical evaluation. The findings surprised everyone. James had a severe vitamin B12 deficiency causing neurological symptoms, an easily treatable urinary tract infection affecting his cognition, and a medication interaction disrupting his sleep. None of these were inevitable, age-related decline. With appropriate treatment, James recovered fully and lived 3 more vibrant years, attending his great-granddaughter's high school graduation, an event he had feared he would miss. Stories like James's remind us why recognizing these signs matters. It's not about denying mortality, but about ensuring that true end of life isn't hastened by treatable conditions. So what should you do with this information? First, become an observant caregiver. Notice patterns and changes rather than isolated incidents. The human tendency is to normalize gradual changes. Mom's always been thin, or Dad's always been a night owl. Fight this tendency by comparing current behaviors not to last month but to a year ago. Often the contrast becomes clear. Second, document what you observe. Specific examples and timelines help healthcare providers tremendously. Our healthcare system operates in brief appointments, often 15 minutes or less. Walking in with organized observations dramatically increases the likelihood of proper diagnosis. Note concrete examples. Dad took 4 minutes to walk from the car to the front door on Tuesday, but it took him 7 minutes on Friday. Is more useful than Dad seems slower. No. Many conditions causing these warning signs are treatable when caught early. Be persistent if needed. Advocate for comprehensive assessment rather than accepting quick explanations. Request geriatric-specific blood panels that include markers often missed in standard testing, like vitamin B12, vitamin D, inflammatory markers, and comprehensive thyroid function. Fourth, focus on quality of life. Sometimes the goal isn't just extending life, but ensuring comfort, dignity, and meaning in whatever time remains. If treatments become burdensome or interventions reduce quality of life, it's appropriate to shift focus to comfort and meaningful experiences. This isn't giving up, it's honoring the whole person. Fifth, consider a geriatric care manager or patient advocate if your loved one has complex needs. These professionals understand the healthcare system and can coordinate between specialists, ensuring nothing falls through the cracks. Studies show seniors with care coordination receive more appropriate interventions and experience fewer hospitalizations. Sixth, prepare for conversations about advance directives and end-of-life wishes. These discussions are easier and more productive when had before crisis strikes. Ask your loved one not just about medical interventions, but about what constitutes meaningful living for them. What activities or experiences give them joy? What capabilities are essential to their sense of self? These answers should guide care decisions. Finally, use this awareness to prioritize meaningful connection. Whether it's months or years ahead, time with our elderly loved ones is precious. Studies from Harvard's longitudinal aging research show that strong social connections are associated with both longevity and quality of life in seniors. These connections provide not just emotional support, but cognitive stimulation and physical activation. I've seen families transform anxiety about a loved one's decline into purposeful action, creating memory books together, recording life stories, arranging reunions with distant friends, or simply establishing regular connection rituals. These actions benefit both the senior and their family members, creating meaning amid uncertainty. Remember that recognizing these 5 warning signs doesn't mean abandoning hope. Rather, it allows for what geriatric specialists call hope with clarity, the ability to simultaneously prepare for possible decline while actively pursuing all appropriate interventions. This balanced approach reduces crisis decision-making and increases the likelihood that whatever time remains, whether weeks or years, is lived with intention and dignity. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe to the 100-Year Lifestyle for more content on enhancing senior well-being. Hit the like button to help this reach others who might benefit. And share your experiences in the comments below. Have you noticed any of these signs in someone you care about? What did you do? Your story might help another viewer facing similar challenges. Until next time, this is Dr. Sarah reminding you that knowledge and compassionate action are the keys to supporting our elders through every stage of life. For those seeking more information, we've compiled a comprehensive resource guide designed specifically for caregivers noticing these warning signs. This guide includes recommended readings on end-of-life care, selected by our team of geriatric specialists. These aren't just medical texts, but include practical guides for navigating healthcare systems and emotional support for both seniors and caregivers. Printable symptom tracking templates designed by healthcare professionals. These structured observation forms help you collect the specific information doctors need most. They include sections for medication timing, symptom intensity scales, and correlation tracking between activities and symptom changes. A detailed list of questions to ask healthcare providers during appointments. Different specialists respond to different types of information, and our guide helps you tailor your communication to get the most effective response, whether you're speaking with a primary care physician, neurologist, or palliative care specialist. Information on local and online support groups for caregivers matched to specific situations. Caring for a spouse differs from caring for a parent, and different health conditions create unique challenges. Finding others who understand your specific situation can provide both emotional support and practical strategies. Decision-making frameworks for common dilemmas. When is hospitalization helpful versus harmful? How do you balance independence with safety? When should you consider additional care support? Our ethical decision trees help navigate these complex choices. Self-care strategies for caregivers. Research shows that caregiver health often declines faster than the health of the person they're caring for. Our guide includes evidence-based techniques for preventing burnout and maintaining your own well-being while caring for others. Visit our website at 100yearlifestyle.com/resources to download these materials at no cost. We update these resources quarterly with the latest research and recommendations. I also recommend connecting with your local area agency on aging. These federally funded organizations exist in every community and provide free guidance on available services for seniors. Many offer caregiver training programs that can help you develop specific skills for supporting your loved one through transitions. For those caring for someone with cognitive changes, the Alzheimer's Association offers a 24/7 helpline, 800-272-3900, staffed by specialists who can provide guidance even for non-Alzheimer's cognitive issues. Their expertise in behavioral management strategies is particularly valuable when dealing with cognitive fluctuations. Remember, recognition is the first step toward appropriate intervention. With the right knowledge and support, you can ensure your loved ones receive the care they need when they need it most. This topic naturally raises questions about our own mortality as well. In our next video, we'll explore creating your personal longevity blueprint, practical steps you can take in your 60s, 70s, and beyond to maximize not just your lifespan, but your health span. We'll cover the latest research on lifestyle, factors that contribute to becoming a thriving centenarian. Thank you for watching this important video. Your commitment to understanding these warning signs demonstrates the compassion and care that makes all the difference in supporting our elders through life's final transitions with dignity, comfort, and meaning. This is Dr. Sarah with the 100-Year Lifestyle, reminding you that knowledge paired with compassionate action creates the foundation for exceptional elder care, whether that means adding healthy years or ensuring final months are lived with dignity and purpose. Till next time, take care of yourself while you care for others.